I was planning on doing a funny skit to open this video, making light of the fact that many people in the community have been saying that this is the final saga, and that this is the end of the Chris Chan mythos. But honestly, that's just not something I really see myself doing when it comes to this topic. Over the last 2.5 days or so, Christian Weston Chandler has yet again become the centre of attention. Not because of his frequent ramblings about the interdimensional merge, or an interesting interaction with a jerk-op, or even a troll from his past returning to haunt him. Instead, he has become the centre of attention due to a dark and despicable revelation that many people had once theorised about, being unfortunately realised in the real world. It appears that Chris Chan has either lied about or has openly admitted to someone that he has been partaking in sexual intercourse with his own mother, Barbara Chandler, multiple times within the dates of the 27th of June up until recent dates. Please keep in mind that these are accusations that have not been proven by law enforcement at the time of this recording, and at no point during this video will I make claims against Christian as fact, as even with the audio, a lot of evidence from this point on has been attained through hearsay. The community would become aware of this situation when leaked audio of Christian talking with an unknown female would begin doing the rounds, with the first YouTube upload of the leaked audio being released on July 30th, around 12 hours ago from this script being written, and was uploaded by YouTube user LDudeRocks. The 4-minute and 27-second audio clip features Chris talking in detail about many topics, all of which attain to his sexual relationship with Barbara. It is important to note, Chris is significantly younger than Barbara, and Barbara is around 80 years old. So outside of the already horrible implications, there's also a massive age despondency between the two. While I will attempt not to play a majority of the audio, I will choose out key points to talk about, analyse, or simply point out as the video goes along.
I forgot exactly what terminology and approach I used, but I approached with care and caution. And I was direct and upfront with her for the most part.
The audio begins with Chris talking about Barbara having a sensitive G-spot, and specifically mentions how his father, Robert Chandler, as well as her other numerous boyfriends and husbands, failed to reach it, in a sickening way seemingly taking joy from the fact that he has, in his mind, more sexual prowess than his deceased father. Not to mention the fact that Chris and Barb are directly related, the way that Chris chooses to focus on the aspects where he can come off feeling powerful and boost his own ego through talking about partaking in these acts with a woman whose mental state is every way dire is sickening. He even attempts to make himself appear virtuous by stating that, air quotes, during sex, they were more focused on themselves, referring to her exes, as opposed to focusing on her, which is my focus. Yeah, it is. Implying that he cares more about her than his own enjoyment. He then goes on to refer to Magi-chan and Sonichu before finishing off the statement by saying, the incest fanfictions have become true and shit. During this entire situation, the Quickie had become so swamped with traffic that it was not possible at certain times to access it. This led to wide info spread on places like Reddit, where for the past few hours, people and users have been voicing their disdain towards the situation and Chris himself. Around the minute and 10 seconds mark of the audio, Chris states that at points during their sexual encounters, Barbara was, air quotes, confused, but would later come around. He would also go on to say that she would come around specifically because of the firm upfront approach he had taken towards her. Prominent member of the Chris Chan community, Gino Samuel, has since made a tweet referring to the situation, with the tweet simply featuring this. It is unknown if Gino released this image due to what was going on at the time, but it is highly likely. At the 2:05 mark, Chris states that he will never propose marriage to her and has no interest in taking it further than this, whilst also going on to state that he was partaking in these actions with her on a bi-daily basis, every 3 days to be exact. This was so that they could figure out what felt right, and that now they had figured out what felt right, he would go on to say, air quotes, she's having a good time. Despite at one point being heavily opposed to incest, Chris would later change his mind, even producing a Facebook post that detailed the stipulation that would have to be met for him to forgive a mother for committing incest on their child. I have a few things to say in response to this article. Firstly, the child was over 18, and surely the mother had talked it out with him beforehand. The child may have had social problems or a situation where socializing or going out to socialize with other people was a greater difficulty. Financial situation prevent paying someone else to come over and help out with that situation. Moreover, it was the lifelong affections between parent and child. Also, the mother probably could not bear any ovum for children anymore. Anyhow, who among everyone in this world has not had a dream of having sex with one of their parents, never acting on them? I myself did have dreams of having sex with my mother. Although incest is quite a controversial topic, there are circumstances where there are not so much harm as one may think, feel or believe. The child is over 18, the mother is unable to have any more children at the time, birth control and protection is available and can be used. In a case of father-daughter, birth control definitely should be used anyhow, as consider if the child is adopted, not as much biological. Plus, this offers a chance for better teaching the child how to better satisfy their eventual partners. The school can only teach from books, not so much practice, and nobody wants to end up being a 20 or 30 plus year old virgin. I know this is a huge enduring pain. Unless the sex act is abusive, hurtful, or wound results in an unwanted birth of a physical or mentally challenged child, I would not judge or persecute the parent or child and would encourage the child to socialize more, maybe make it easier for the child to meet up more people his or her age. Do not send the mother and the son to jail. He also refers to the times where he had dreams about partaking in sexual intercourse with her at a younger age, confirming that he had in fact, to an extent, thought about this many years beforehand, and with this, it can be heavily theorized that he was the one who initiated these encounters. However, at the 3:28 mark, Chris would finally reveal the truth behind all of this, as he would finally let slip what all of this was really about.
Proceed towards it more slowly. Alright, so anyway, everything, with the events and everything, and I was feeling like I really needed a sensual release. Not too many individuals this side of the arc were coming up to the plate right, so, and then everything was coming into good alignment, and it was in good, the signs were all there, even Emmanuel, God, just said it was okay, and it got me towards it. So I gave it lots of time for myself. I was like, okay, so I'll take a dive for it. So, well, among which just mainly I was really, really horny, and I needed the true and honest relationship to come about. So, obviously, this was one of the best ways to do it, despite it being with the. And I don't want to believe in labels at all, but
I think the audio speaks for itself. Like with everything in Chris's life, Chris was feeling overwhelmed and felt like he was owed the sexual relief he felt that he needed, all because of some fucking brony event or whatever the fuck he was begging for money for a week ago. And the fact that even though he pretends to be happy, dating his imaginary OC, he still longs for the touch of that sweet china, and will even force his own dear mother into giving it to him as he feels that it is owed to him. So what actually has come of this situation? As this script was being written, many different pieces of info were released. Number 1. The individual that Chris had confined this information in was apparently a troll by the name of 10th Anonymous, who was playing a troll persona of a gal pal named Bella. Number 2. Ruckersville, Virginia police had visited 14 Branchland Avenue, the Chandler residence, and had given a wellness check. Barb has been taken to the hospital and has been given senior health evaluations. Number 3. While not fully arrested, Chris was given an emergency protective order dictating that he can't return to the Branchland Avenue until his predetermined time allows him to do so. Again, all of this info is hearsay, not fact. I personally haven't been able to find anything else that actually backs up these statements, but they're statements that for the most part give us a little bit to go off of. During this entire situation, the community has been split straight down the middle, with many parties going off and doing their own different things. Some users on Reddit and Facebook directly got in contact with Ruckersville police. One of the individuals who attempted this got this result. I called the Greene County Police Station and I said there was this guy who's notorious on the internet. Well, anyway, there's a video of him saying he has sex with his mum and she's 80 and he has dementia, and that's abuse of the elderly, incest and rape. Before I could keep going, the police said exhaustedly, "We've already gotten calls like this multiple times. We will investigate." It seems to many that the common consensus is that this may in fact be the end of the Chris Chan mythos, with many posting memes or simply having no idea what to really think, with many stating that this may in fact be the final saga, and the end of an internet story that has lasted for longer than a decade, and has, to an extent, defined the internet as a whole for some. One Reddit user, Boji the Great, made a post that instead of focusing on Barb or Chris, instead tried to address the population of people within the community who were attempting to suggest that they should send the audio to Chris's half-brother, Cole Smithy, trying to convince them not to by using Cole's past of abuse and his complete separation from them as defining reasons. At this point, it's too early to know what's happening. While people claim Chris and Barb have been separated and the situation is being handled, it will only be a matter of time before we pick up traces of the situation. All we can do now is wait. But with the sheer magnitude of the situation, how quickly everything is picked up, all we can really do is hope for the best and expect the worst. Thank you for watching, and I will update any time new information is revealed. Thank you very much, and I appreciate everyone who cooperated and allowed me to use their clips and snippets in the video.